And recording. So, so far within the last month or so, I've reacted to Man of War twice. I did Die for Metal and Kings of Metal, I believe. And they haven't really knocked it out of the park for me. If I'm being honest, the lyrics kind of sound a little cheesy, a little anthemy. Like, I'm sure it sounds great if you're at the concert and they start playing the songs. But from what I've been told in the comments, I think as an introduction to the band, those were probably the wrong choices. Um, the overall request I got as a suggestion was to actually try King of Metal. So that's actually what I'm going to be doing tonight. It's about a 4 minute song. It's got that Union Jack there. Hail to England. Nice comic book art. I'm assuming this one's going to sound different than the two I've already heard, um, just because of my reactions to the other two. So I'm hoping this is going to sound good.
Hear what's written on the wind. Wake up, sit down, out. Our rebels fall like hail. Trample on the dead. Ride through the gate of clouds. Stand on the open stairs. Run berserk, spreading fear and pain. Black shield and weapons, black our chain. None can harm us, not their fire. Iron or steel, for we have the will to power. With power we will kill. Kill with power. Die, die. Kill with power. Die,
I'm going to stop it right there. I was trying to find a good place to actually give it a good pause. So, right off the bat, this is already like 10 times better than the two songs I've heard already. Like, there's a speed and energy to this one that I didn't necessarily feel in the other two. Now, part of that probably has to do with the rawness of the recording. Like, I can hear like pops of the drum, like just breaking through the filters, and then like I'm hearing like little bits of the guitar that the high frequencies are breaking, but it's good. That rawness actually like translates to some like emotion and energy that I didn't necessarily feel from the previous songs. And obviously, this is probably what from the 80s. So like it makes sense that it's recorded in that way. I'm also liking that there's not as much vocals on this one. Like from the little bit of it I can hear, it sounds like the writing style is pretty similar throughout each album, and even just like the bounciness that I'm getting from this riff and the drumming, I can see how that would translate to the ones I've already heard. But in this instance, based solely off like the skill and musicianship and like the soloing and stuff, this comes across completely different than the other two. Like this is more performance based and more technical, whereas the other ones more seem like, yeah, you guys are already fans, and we just here's another song, and here's another song that we made from this riff, and it seems kind of complacent. This seems more like in tune with like actually trying. I know that might upset a couple people, but like that's what happens to some bands when they've been around for decades. Is just like their newer material or the stuff that they play in concerts isn't necessarily the most complex or the most alluring to new like to new listeners. They're just playing hits and stuff that they know like the old crowd's gonna like. But this is more in tune with what I was expecting their sound to be like, and I'm actually enjoying this a lot more. I'm rambling. Let me get back to it.
Kill with power. To the war god Odin you will pray, and the curse of weapons shall remain. On the blood of all our fathers, on their weapons we now swear to avenge, not lament. Give our false ones dead. Kill with power. Die, die. Kill with power. Die,
So that was pretty straightforward. Not too complicated, but just the right amount of like bounce and energy to like keep me interested in the song. And then, like I said, the guitar solo and the guitar work was actually like pretty damn good. So I enjoyed this a hell of a lot. I imagine when they approached the actual lyrics and like content of the song, like vocally, that's kind of like secondary. Like they just focus on the music first, and then just add whatever they think will actually work. So I'm understanding the conceptually how they construct songs now. I think because there is like a underlying theme and just like sound to their construction. So yeah, this was definitely energetic. It had that rawness which I enjoy, and yeah, like overall, like this is the best one of their songs I've heard so far. So I'm assuming the route I have to go, if I want to keep listening to them, is to actually go to the beginning albums and like the when they debuted. So I'd say like probably the first three albums. Uh yeah, yeah. So that's probably what I'm gonna end up doing. So if you guys want me to keep reacting to Manowar, give me some suggestions for some songs like this, or from the first couple of albums that you think is a good representation of the band?